Ganondorf trailer. So if you go to Smash Remix's channel, unlike every other character, Ganondorf does not have a trailer. He was the first added, and so I guess just kind of makes sense. Now, I don't know if there is one out there that's official or fan-made or anything or what, but who knows, maybe there's some deep, dark secret that just kind of makes sense of why Ganondorf doesn't have one. Ooh. Version 0.9.6. Do not research. Continuing with the darkness. This version never happened. If you go from 9.5, it skips to 9.7, as been discussed on here. Now, the reasons given for this is not only was there a longer time between pieces of the development, but we got two characters, Wolf and Conker. Now, you might think, like, okay, so maybe Wolf was originally for 9.6, but they didn't think it was enough, or there was some trouble going on, etc. So they postponed it, and they had him join up later with Conker, and it was a much more significant update, so they're like, okay, this is what 9.7 is now since Conker's supposed to debut in there, but no, that's not the case. 9.6 was never planned. It was always just going to be Wolf and Conker coming out together, supposedly, and they simply named it that because it felt like too significant of an update to simply just do, another up by 0.1 on this. Counting the updates back then was just generally done differently, and I'm sure if there was more, like, foresight given in, then we probably would be approaching version 1 now, rather than, back with Mewtwo and Marth. Or maybe that's just what they want you to think. Ooh, maybe in reality, 9.6 was in development, and this build was too dark and sinister for anyone to lace eye on, and they had to cancel it because horrible things were happening, and temporal leakage, and entities coming to life, and cursedness, and I'm a Wario, I'm going to win, and wahaha. And whoo, they had to cancel it. Short Sleeve Wario. Speaking of, here's an oddity that you can see in Conker's trailer. There's a character sitting around hanging out at the bar. And look at Wario. Does something seem different about him? Well, he's wearing short sleeves. When in Smash Remix, he has the long sleeves on, which was more of the standard at the time for him. I'm guessing what happened, since looking at the behind the scenes videos for this, I don't see any explanation, is that while modeling Wario, the creator and director of these just simply misinterpreted how he looks and saw that as short sleeves when it's actually long sleeves, because I don't think Wario was ever in a trailer before this. Or maybe it was just a creative decision because it's like, hey, they're all hanging around at a bar, Wario can just chill with his short sleeves on and make it an alternate costume. But yeah, I really don't know, it's just a funny oddity that I've never heard anybody point out before. Mario Odyssey stage. So this one's interesting. I totally forgot about this until I was like looking over and preparing to make this chart. But then when I saw it, I was like, oh, I remember that. Anyway, when Snooplex was showing off the update for, I believe, Dark Samus, he was talking about stages that he made that appear in this mod before, like the Bowser stage. And he was also the one who originally made Delfino Plaza, if that even ends up sticking at this point. But he also originally did a temple stage, but obviously in Smash Remix they had to like totally redo that to make it actually like playable on console. But anyway, as he was going on about that, he brought up a Mario Odyssey stage and he showed it off, and it does look kind of cool, even if it's like not really fitting the area, but people didn't care as much at that time. But yeah, he showed this off, and it was of like the Odyssey ship, the giant hat with the globe and everything, and he was talking about this, and he was saying how he will have to reduce like the amount of like polygons and triangles and everything and vertexes and all of that on this for it to be playable and run on console properly, because the count was way too high, which was the deal with all of his other stages, Delfino especially. So yeah, he was saying that he did want to get to work on that, and he did say, quote exactly, that he plans on porting it to Smash Remix at some point, but it would take a lot of work. And of course, as of now, he never got to this. I'm assuming that he just forgot about it, or he no longer wanted to do it. And since it hasn't happened yet, I'm pretty sure that's never happening. That would be quite the surprise if it came out at this last update, especially now with the design philosophy that they're going for. But yeah, who knows? The Morgana apparition, yeah! You think Wario shows you fun? Morgana shows you fun. Something that most players probably never notice is that in the Memento stage, ever since moving platforms were added, there is a set of platforms that will spawn, and on this tiny little screen on there, you will see static cutting in and off. Alongside over that, a silhouette of Morgana running, just like in the intro to Persona 5. This makes it the only cameo of a character from that franchise, like including Shin Megami Tensei, or just anything like that appearing in this mod, which is really odd and unique. Maybe it's Morgana trying to break through, and during certain very, very, very rare occasions, Morgana will pop through. If you believe that you're witnessing this, then you must turn your console off immediately, or emulator, or whatever. This could be Morgana trying to break in and be included. Maybe Morgana had a chance in the early days, but not anymore. He fits with the cute aesthetic of Smash 64, but alas. I know this is getting really ridiculous, but no, please do not remove the Memento stage. There's no evidence I have that they're playing or even thinking about it, but just please don't. I know it doesn't fit the era anymore, but I like the stage, and you put a lot of work into it. It's great. 12 character battle, random set order, or set random order. Okay, so what this means is that, I don't know if this is just a weird me problem with my EverDrive and SD card and all that, if it's not a thing on emulator. But this is something that I've noticed happen. I've brought it up before, and nobody else really knew what I was talking about, and I've seen nobody else bring this up. But 12 character battle mode, when you choose random, it chooses a random set of 12 characters, obviously. And you know, I go to do that, and yes, the set of characters I get are indeed random. However, something I've seen before is that said random sets are not random themselves. Let me explain. So, when I go to start this mode and I press random for the first time, I'll get a random set, then I'll press again and get another random set, and so on and so forth. However, those sets I get are the exact same, in the exact same order, every time I turn on the game to play it. So I just have to mash random a bunch of times and see a set that I hadn't reached yet, or played yet, to truly get a true random order. And I don't know if, again, this is just me, or if it's a thing that other people have done that they're aware about, and they're trying to fix it, or they just simply can't fix it. I don't know, it's just a weird thing. Data dying troll face. So members of the team have informed me that one of them, who was making the data dying stage somewhere, hit a troll face on this. Unlike Mr. Resetting Stuff, however, I cannot find this, and the ones who told me about it, amongst others, also don't know where it is. They just know it's there. So obviously I can't get actual footage of this, but do any of you know where it is? Can you see it through normal gameplay means? Who knows? It's a mystery. Let me know about that. Updates post 2020 don't feel the same. Okay, so this is another personal one, you have to excuse me, and I might try to go quick because I already talked all about this on my video where I was just talking about this being my favorite game ever. But I don't know, to try to put it quickly, I don't know how many people will resonate with me for this, but after 2020, again, I want to clarify that this isn't a big criticism, and this is still my favorite game ever, obviously why I'm doing this. But after that, it just didn't feel the same anymore. It lost some of its charm and I guess innocence and humble sincerity to it, I want to say. You know, after 2020, that's when the waits in between updates started to get way longer, and that started gradually going to the point where it's as long as wait now. Before that, we were getting an update every 2 to 3 months. The update between Lucas and Bowser felt longer than usual, and that was just a bit over 3 months. But yeah, like after that, I feel like not only was just that, but I feel like there was like too much of a sense to be like overly professional and like clean and sanitized about how everything looks and like overly high quality. And it's like, I know on paper it's like, well, what are you talking about? That's a good thing. And it's like, well, yeah, it is. Obviously, you want everything to look good, but I don't know. Like, I kind of like how just more simplistic like the characters were. I mean, Bowser isn't simplistic, but he just fits really well. And you know, like he's not like a perfectly like over the top character. Not again, like not the characters like Marina are necessarily an issue, but no, like I just feel like that they better fit the spirit of Smash 64, which is what I really liked about this mod, just how natural of an extension it felt like to this, and truly what the developers would have made if they were given them more time. And I feel the same way about the stages too, especially. They were just like a lot more modest and stuff, and I don't know, it just feels like that there's a lot more like fun emphasized over like hard work for it. But you know, like it might sound kind of stupid, especially since again, I just kind of want to gloss over this one. But if you're curious, I explain it longer and better in my favorite game of all time video. But yeah, I don't know if anybody else knows what I'm talking about. It's probably just mostly like a personal thing with what's going on with my life, because 2020 was my favorite year for me. Again, that might sound weird, but I explain it in said video. But yeah, it's probably just me and association. But anyway, next up is the last part.